The push to integrate AI into emerging market education is happening fast. In Zambia, legacy academic structures are colliding with advanced data technology. At the highest level, the Zambian government recently signed a partnership to deploy AI-driven learning platforms across secondary schools by April 2026. At the ground level, university students are already there. Recent data shows an 82% active adoption rate of generative AI among the student body. But between these two forces is a massive friction point: the institutional middle layer, made up of faculty readiness, digital infrastructure, and data privacy frameworks, is fracturing under the pressure. Successful AI implementation in emerging markets depends on a functional ecosystem of national policy, institutional pedagogy, and physical infrastructure. Without that alignment, high-tech interventions do not automatically produce better learning outcomes. They often bypass the very people they are meant to help, deepening existing educational inequalities. This diagram illustrates the Technology Acceptance Model, or TAM. Researchers use this framework to understand why a new technology is adopted or rejected, tracing two primary inputs directly into a user's behavioral intention. The first input is perceived usefulness. This measures how much an individual believes a given system will actually enhance their academic or job performance. The second input is perceived ease of use, which measures the expected effort required to operate that system. When we apply this model to the student population at institutions like Copperbelt University, we see an 88% awareness rate and an 82% active adoption rate of generative AI. For students, the perceived usefulness is exceptionally high. They have the immediate ability to generate research ideas, summarize dense texts, and draft assignments under tight deadlines. The perceived ease of use is equally high. Conversational interfaces like ChatGPT and Gemini require zero technical training to operate. But when we apply the exact same framework to the faculty and institutional administrators, the model fractures. For educators, the perceived ease of use collapses. Effectively integrating these tools requires significant time and training. Instructors are forced to overhaul entire syllabi or shift to complex oral defense assessments to combat AI plagiarism. This is compounded by an institutional failure to provide clear policy guidelines on ethical AI use. Without a rulebook, educators are left paralyzed. This behavioral asymmetry creates a shadow IT environment. Students utilize artificial intelligence to efficiently bypass traditional work, while institutions fail to harness the technology for any measurable pedagogical gain. Zooming out to the national level, the Zambian government is attempting to solve severe macro-educational deficits. Currently, the transition rate from primary to secondary school sits at exactly 63%, alongside critically low learning outcomes in basic math and English. To bypass these bottlenecks, the Ministry of Technology and Science signed an agreement to deploy artificial intelligence in schools by April 2026, partnering with Obrism. It is important to distinguish the generative AI tools students currently use, which map user prompts to open text generation, from the intelligent tutoring systems, or ITS, that the government is procuring. An intelligent tutoring system operates by analyzing a student's performance data in real time. It uses algorithmic analysis to continuously adjust the difficulty and style of the educational content, creating a personalized learning pathway. This technology forces a strict shift in the educator's job description. Teachers move from being the primary deliverers of content to strategic coordinators of software. The government's strategy here is clear. They are attempting to bypass the faculty capability gap by hard-coding personalized pedagogy directly into a procured software platform. However, running advanced intelligent tutoring systems require specific physical and ecological prerequisites. Real-time, cloud-based AI processing demands continuous connectivity. Zambia currently operates with a 33% internet penetration rate, compounded by unstable power grids and a lack of access to compatible devices. This creates an immediate risk of geographical inequity. Deployments will inherently favor urban centers with established infrastructure, drastically widening the educational gap for rural students. Beyond physical infrastructure, there is a secondary, more invisible threat to this deployment: data harvesting. To function correctly, an intelligent tutoring system must collect an enormous volume of demographic, behavioral, and performance data. funneling it directly into central corporate servers. The legislative shield meant to protect this information is the Zambian Data Protection Act of 2021, but findings from the Global Scientific Journal reveal that despite existing on paper, the act suffers from severe implementation and enforcement gaps, leaving individuals' data vulnerable to exploitation. This opens the door to surveillance capitalism in the educational sector, an economic model where student metrics are analyzed, brokered, and traded to advertisers without explicit informed consent. Deploying advanced artificial intelligence without enforcing baseline digital infrastructure and rigorous data protection laws transforms a tool designed for personalized learning into an engine for mass surveillance and exploitation. The primary bottleneck in Zambian higher education is the current lack of ecological alignment between government policy and institutional reality. The first mandatory pillar for alignment is massive foundational investment in bridging the rural-urban digital divide and stabilizing power infrastructure. The second mandatory pillar is comprehensive capacity building for faculty, focusing on AI-integrated pedagogy and redesigning assessments away from simple text generation. The third mandatory pillar is the rigorous, audited enforcement of the Data Protection Act to ensure privacy by design in all procured educational technology. Only when these three pillars are firmly established can top-down initiatives like the Oprism Partnership actually succeed safely. Left unregulated, AI in emerging markets amplifies existing inequalities and privacy risks, but when anchored in strong policy and reliable infrastructure, it provides a scalable method for tailoring education to the specific needs of individual learners across the country.